Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And tonight we're talking NFL Draft, first round. It's been, not just NFL Draft, we got a couple trades. It's been a crazy night actually of movement here. Mainly wide receivers is I think what we got to talk about. Just a crazy night. I don't even know where to start with this. Like AJ Brown's probably the biggest news tonight, getting traded to the Eagles, right?
I mean, you can pick either either one. Talk about the Browns in general.
AJ Brown traded to the Eagles. Hollywood Brown traded to the Cardinals. Gives Kyler Murray another weapon there. Just two things you didn't see coming. The wide receiver market's insane these days. And then you top it off, we've had, at this point, we're at what, pick 23 right now? Where are we at?
Yeah, pick 23. The Bills are on the clock.
So we're at pick 23. We've already had, I think, six receivers go at this point? How many do we have? Look at this here. We had the first one off the board was
London.
It was London. He was the first one off the board. Next up, we had, and London went to the Falcons. Garrett Wilson goes to the Jets. Olave goes next to the Saints. Lions trade up to get Jamison Williams, who I think is the best receiver in the draft, at 12. So that was the fourth. Jahan Dotson goes to the Commanders at 16. Treylon Burks goes to 18 to the Titans, who just traded A.J. Brown. Got that pick. Get Treylon Burks and a pick next year. Wow. A lot going on. I don't know. Okay. I guess we start with the trades. A.J. Brown traded to the Eagles, gets to play with Jalen Hurts, Devonte Smith. That's a decent receiving crew now for Jalen Hurts if he can play.
Yeah, the question is all about Hurts, right? Because we know A.J. Brown, no matter what team he goes to, can play. The Tennessee Titans did not throw all that much. They were a run-first team, and he was able to score, have really big production, even though he was not used like a number one, even though everyone else considered him that way because his big playability.
Yep.
Will the Eagles give him more looks? You're paying him $100 million for 4 years.
They're going to try to. 4 years, $100 million, they're going to get him the ball.
You have to
Smith
so.
has somebody, though. I like it. If Jalen Hurts can do it. That's the big question. And he has the weapons now. So, and with Goddard as well. So Jalen Reagor still maybe is like a third.
Yeah.
So they signed Zach Pascal as like their fourth at this point. They have some players. So that's interesting. I mean, wide receivers, man, they get paid. There's teams that want to pay them and want the receivers, and there's others that are just not going to do it. And it's making some crazy moves right now. So yeah, honestly, for the Eagles, you trade your 18th pick, you basically draft AJ Brown. It's pretty good.
Yeah, in my head, I don't think AJ Brown really moves a whole lot. Like in my mind, as far as where he's going to be drafted fantasy-wise.
Probably not. I don't think this changes much because he's still top 10, borderline top 10.
Yeah, borderline, right?
Right at that.
In a spot where you're not exactly sure how much they'll be able to give him the ball, even though they'll try.
Yep.
Tennessee, that he's going to be the number one. Quarterback, not really an upgrade.
Fantasy Pros had him consensus-wise at 7 before this trade. Yeah, I mean, he was ahead of CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins at that point. I mean, I can see it, but it's a lot interchangeable at that spot. But yeah, it's a crazy. Titans didn't want to pay him. I get it.
I think, they want to pay him. Cool. Goes to a team. Doesn't change it a whole lot, but that's very, very intriguing. The other one, Hollywood Brown, is actually the one that moves the needle a lot more for me.
Yeah.
Goes to the Cardinals, pairs back up with Kyler Murray. Obviously, Christian Kirk just went to the Jags. And so they needed someone, right? And we were talking okay, Rondell Moore, he's probably going to be the slot guy. They could draft someone to be number 2. You still have Hopkins. You get a bona fide guy that can take the top off a defense. We've seen what he was able to do in once again, not a prolific throwing offense in Baltimore. He was able to produce a lot. Now with Kyler Murray and Hopkins and all those weapons they have there, what do you think what do you think of Hollywood Brown? Did you look at him last year as just a guy that went deep? Or do you actually look at him like a legit number one wide receiver?
I think he could be that kind of receiver. He doesn't have to be there, which is great. But they can definitely get him the ball. I mean, AJ Green actually was like fantasy borderline relevant at times when he was washed.
Well, yeah, and he got a ton of targets.
Yeah, and he was done. He was washed. He wasn't AJ Green anymore. Those targets are going to go to Hollywood Brown, who before this was ranked 37th at wide receiver. If he's still in the 30s, I'm going to go for that all day.
Yeah.
He's going to move up. I think this is definitely huge for him. Kyler's going to throw the ball around.
Before the end of the year when he had I think he was injured, it was kind of a dismal ending to it. He was a top 10 wide receiver, actually, like in fantasy. It was pretty wild there for a while. So it does show his upside. I think that is the one guy where after tonight, it'll probably go under the radar a little bit because they'll be like, well, he's the number 2 on the team. We don't know if he can run routes. Yep. We know, we just know he's fast.
Yep.
I think this one really has the ability to launch him into a different
into top
tier.
30, top 25.
Yeah,
for sure. I like it. I'm really curious to see what he can do. He was playing really well at times last year.
And Hopkins was banged up last year.
Yep.
He could be the number 1 for portions of that season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like this pick or this trade a lot for them as well. They traded 23 to get him, which sure, that's why not?
Yeah,
take a chance. Let's see, a couple picks just happened. Kaiir Elam goes to the cornerback from Florida, goes to the Bills, and the Cowboys just picked offensive tackle Tyler Smith, which that's a Cowboys pick. Get some more offensive line. There you go.
Did the DN go yet, or is he still out there?
Jermaine Johnson is still out there. Up on the clock now is 25 Baltimore Ravens.
Of course. Kyle Hamilton fell to them, and now he's going to fall to him. That is hilarious.
Yeah, that's they're gonna probably get Jermaine Johnson, Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah. Some teams just this stuff happens, and we laughed so hard right before we started recording. Yeah. We were like, oh, they're gonna fall. He's gonna fall to New England.
Yeah.
And then I was like, honestly, like the greatest thing ever would be now that you have a bunch of different players there that other teams will want.
Yep.
This would be a place where New England would actually trade back, and immediately. Guess who's trading back? Yep.
There's still 8 picks left in this first round, so we'll see if they get any running backs. But let's go over some of these receivers that went. Drake London, we said, goes to the Falcons. He immediately becomes their number 1 receiver. Wide receiver, Kyle Pitts could be their number 1 target. It's a good start for them at their receivers, but I don't love it with Marcus Mariota. I don't know what he is. I don't for fantasy purposes for Drake London, I'm not sure what it is next year. I'm not sure. The Falcons, it's weird to me. They're in this rebuilding mode, but last year they picked Pitts. This year they picked London. I mean, I feel like they're doing it a little backwards.
Yeah, that is not how I would do it.
No.
I think that they're in a stop the bleeding mode where they want people to come see their games too. And if you got like an offensive tackle, it just wouldn't cut it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this one. Drake London could turn out to be.
I don't think nothing against Drake London. It's more just the fit.
He could turn out to be a very good wide receiver, and he could produce.
Yeah,
I don't believe that he has the ability to produce like wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 even for fantasy this year. I think maybe for dynasty, it's a different question. How long are you willing to wait? How long do you think Mariota is going to be there? So I'm not completely against him, but for next year, he's not really on my radar. If he, for whatever reason, falls very late, then you can take a shot at him. But I don't think he's not that guy next year.
At 10, the Jets picked Garrett Wilson. I think we knew all along they'd get a receiver. Didn't know which one it would be. It's Garrett Wilson. This one is going to depend on what Zach Wilson is. He has some good receivers now. He has Wilson and Elijah Moore. I don't know what this does to Elijah Moore. That's where I'm more curious. I really liked Elijah Moore, but I don't know. We'll see how that plays out now. I'm not sure.
I still like Elijah Moore. I think he solidified himself as a legit player.
Yep.
And I do think that when you're on a team that is kind of all over the place struggling, I'm not going to go towards the rookie because we're wondering about Berrios. We're wondering about there's a lot of guys there that are trying to prove themselves. Garrett Wilson will get a shot, but I don't even think he's in a worse position than even Drake London to me because at least him, that the targets will be there. Yeah. If Zach Wilson doesn't get it going and he's not going to be the number 1 because I feel like Elijah Mitchell already has that tied up, where does everything else go? I'm not a big fan of where he landed.
All right. Then next up, if I lost my spot, was the very next pick. Number 11, the Saints traded up to get Chris Olave from Ohio State. Another Ohio State guy. They wanted him, obviously, trade up to get him. Michael Thomas should be their number one. The whole Michael Thomas thing's weird. Hopefully he's back full strength. And then it would be Olave number 2 with Jameis as quarterback. Maybe. I'm not going to – at times, like, Jameis, when he did play a little bit, he made Traquan – or not Traquan. Wow, I can't even remember the guy's name. Traquan something, but oh, my God. Callaway.
Yeah.
Marquez Callaway was actually, like, on people's radars for a little bit. I don't know. This could be – could be more interested in this than the other two, but I don't know. Again, I don't know what Jameis is. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the other two have more upside long term, and I think Olave has the upside next year because we don't know what that team is going to look like. And once again, you're guessing, but at the same time, we don't know if Thomas will be back. We don't know if anyone else has stepped up. We don't know if Callaway, he kind of disappeared. And we don't know what Kamara is going to look like this year. If he's going to be suspended, what is going to happen there?
Yeah, that's true.
Jameis is a huge, so Olave could be used in a lot of different ways, which that is kind of why I like him more this year. He could be an interesting pick because I do think that they could give him a lot of targets in different ways, and he doesn't have to fit some prototypical wide receiver, which I think will take him a minute. He has a lot of speed, but it doesn't mean that you can automatically produce as a wide receiver in the NFL because he is undersized. So, I like what they could possibly do to him, and I like Peyton. I think he'll figure out a way to use him.
Oh, Peyton's gone, remember?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh.
Is Dennis Allen their coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah. No Sean Payton. If it was Sean Payton, it'd be okay, right? Makes sense.
Dude, this offseason has
crazy,
been,
man.
Yeah, it's been weird.
We were talking about those 2 wide receiver trades. Think of all the other ones that have happened. Like, it's just, I can't even, I'm going to forget if I even try to talk about them. Tyreek, Amari Cooper. What are the other big ones? I don't even know anymore.
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk's the catalyst for all this and that stupid deal he got.
Oh, man. Adams.
Oh, Devonte Adams. Yeah, it's just crazy.
And Debo has not gone anywhere yet.
No, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Right now, this is the only thing that I'm wondering about. For the Jets they were possibly the number 1 landing spot because they had enough assets to give up so Debo could come to them. You do wonder if possibly after the first night is over, that they took the wide receiver that would be a very good trading chip for Debo. On top of that, something else. And then obviously the Jets would say, if we can come up with a deal that Debo would agree to, then you can have all this stuff. So I'm not the ink hasn't dried in my mind as far as that, that wide receiver Wilson is going to be in New York.
Yep.
But if he went to San Fran, say that actually worked out, do you like that more or less?
Probably more.
Yeah, I like it more too.
Yeah.
I think that would work out for both teams.
Yeah, definitely. All right, where are we at? 12. Lions traded up to get Jameson Williams from Alabama, wide receiver. I love this.
I did too.
As a Lions fan, I'm very happy with this move. I think Jameson Williams was the best receiver in this class if he hadn't got hurt. The ACL is obviously going to scare people away, but he seems like he's pretty far along in his recovery already. He's recovering fairly well. The guy was really good. I'm happy with this pick. I like the Lions getting Jameson Williams. If he can play to start the year, he's going to get a lot of work, a lot of targets. Look what St. Brown did. St. Brown's not the player that Jameson Williams is.
No, and also, this is interesting, right? I think it's a good comparison. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, it took him a little bit to get going, but he was very, very good the second half of the year.
Yep.
I think that could be the exact same thing that happens here, except, for a much more talented wide receiver coming out of college. He just has more upside physically. I do think that I agree with you. I think he was the best wide receiver, and I think that it would have been tier 1 when I feel like there was 5 guys, and they're like, this is all tier 1. I feel like he would have been his own, and then everyone else would have. But Lions don't need him right away. Which is great for the Lions, great for the NFL. But as far as drafting him in fantasy, what does that do? If he's ready to go and looks like he's himself in preseason, we can watch him play. Where do you actually put him? And then if they say, oh, he can't, where are you willing to take the shot at him, and are you willing to stash him to the second half of the year?
Yeah, I would be willing to get him on my team. I'm trying to think. if it's an auction, I'm gonna spend a couple dollars and get him. I really will. I'm gonna, especially if it's a keeper league.
Yeah.
That could be a great move. I'm going to, if he's healthy, if he's looking healthy. It's hard to say where you want to put a rookie receiver, but I'm trying to think of what number makes sense. You'd be top 50, top 40. I'd probably be aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think top 40 is saying something.
I think I would.
Coming off an ACL tear.
If I think he's healthy.
On a team that is not all that great.
Like Amon-Ra St. Brown right now is 30. Yeah, Williams is a healthy. I don't know, though. I don't think they're going to rush it, but I'm you know what? Don't rush it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's even better.
Especially in like keeper situation, any kind of situation. Let me get him a little later.
Here's the thing. In Dynasty, I think this is really interesting. How high up does he go? Like, we'll just talk about him versus other wide receivers. Long term.
Yeah.
Where does he go right now in a rookie, Dynasty draft league?
Man, that's a tough one.
Just wide receivers, because we won't go into like, I mean, honestly,
he's up there. He has to be. I feel like the homer in me is getting out there. I want to put him number one.
I know. I kind of do too. But
that's probably behind Garrett Wilson to me.
Okay.
I think Garrett Wilson's still ahead of him. I think it'd be Garrett Wilson, Jameson.
I'm waiting for Green Bay to take their second first-round pick, because that could change everything, right? My man Christian Watson.
Oh yeah,
he's still out there, and this could happen. This could legitimately happen. Green Bay.
The Packers have to take a wide receiver at 28, right?
Yeah,
they have to.
They already took
They have
took
to
a linebacker, right? Their first pick.
But yeah, so we got a couple more.
The Jets are about to pick again. This would be great if they took another wide receiver or something.
Yeah, the Ravens finally had another pick. The Ravens actually did not pick Jermaine Johnson. He keeps falling. They picked Ravens picked Tyler Linderbaum, Iowa center.
Oh, okay,
he's a good player.
Yeah,
but yeah. All right. At 16, Jahan Dotson from Penn State went to the Commanders, so they get a receiver to team up with Terry McLaurin. He's a speedy guy, short guy. Right?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm also watching all of this. So tweets are going all over the place, and I just saw. I know you had told me that Lamar Jackson retweeted someone being. Now Lamar Jackson, all he tweeted was WTF, and now it's just going crazy. Everyone's loving it. He obviously did not know that Hollywood Brown was being moved.
Nope, he didn't. That's funny. Oh, I feel kind of bad for him. Not really. Jermaine Johnson just went to the Jets.
Oh, okay. Know what?
Good draft for the Jets.
Good. Yeah.
Honestly, for the Jets, they got Sauce Gardner at 4, cornerback from Cincinnati. They picked Garrett Wilson at 10, and they get Jermaine Johnson at 26. That's a good draft.
You could have easily said take Jermaine Johnson and then whatever wide receiver. So they ended up getting both. So
that's a good draft for them.
Yeah, very good.
So with Jahan Dotson, it's funny. I found this tweet that said, I honestly think a lot of Commanders fans will be mad about the Jahan Dotson pick because his name sounds a lot like Josh Doxson.
That's great. Yeah.
Oh, good old Josh
TCU?
Doxson.
Was that TCU?
Good old Josh Doxson.
He didn't work out, but that's too bad.
So who had 26? Oh, Titans had 26. Jets moved up. Let's see. They acquired 26 and 100 for their second, third, and fifth round picks. So they moved up. They wanted Jermaine Johnson. That's a good draft for the Jets. They're going to get an A on a lot of people's draft board.
You took guys that are going to start for you for a long time.
That's a good draft for them. They're doing well there. Next up is actually Tampa. Tampa is on the clock. Don't have a clue what they're going to get. Probably not receiver.
I was going to say, I don't know what they need, but they could take another running back. I mean, literally, they have Fournette, and then Rojo's gone, right?
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, you could take one of the top 2 running backs. Either one would really work out. They're in a win-now situation.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could take a wide receiver. No joke. I mean, Godwin's coming back from injury. You have Evans. Antonio Brown is gone. Is there anyone else that was tight end is sewn up? So wide receiver or running backs,
they could do it
unless there's a defensive player that they think can plug in.
They could. All right. So after Dotson, we didn't really talk about Dotson. I mean, it's with Wentz as the quarterback. Maybe, I don't know. This is one where I'm not sure what we're going to expect. I think McLaurin's still the one
by far.
Yeah, I don't know. Dotson will, be useful for them. I just don't know what that's going to amount to yet. I'm not as excited as the rest. At 18, the Titans then picked Treylon Burks from Arkansas. They trade A.J. Brown to get this 18th pick and a pick next year, I think, and they get Treylon Burks.
So pretty much you get the poor man's A.J. Brown, and you don't have to pay him. So, everyone wins, I guess.
At this point, I mean, what's their depth chart at?
I don't
for wide receiver. Let me pull this up here.
they're probably thinking
Robert Woods.
Yep.
So they got Robert Woods and Treylon Burks.
I mean, that's fine. They're a run first team.
Yeah.
Those two guys, I do think Burks will be fine. But he's not going to get enough targets. He's not A.J. Brown where he can overcome that. And Robert Woods will be the number one when he's healthy.
Yep.
And, they're going to be fine. They got players that can do what the Titans need to do in order to win. Good for them. They don't have to pay $100 million to A.J. Brown. Yeah. I don't know. Burks, do you think that he could actually become the number one wide receiver over Woods?
Yeah, I think it's possible for sure.
Probably pretty quickly, especially with the injury.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. Tannehill's fine at quarterback, and Derrick Henry's going to run the ball. Yeah.
Well, the one interesting part in my head too is Henry goes down, and they turn into a completely different team, and they just didn't have a shot. Before that, people were like, I mean, you run the ball, down other people's throats, you play good defense, you could actually win this thing. During the year, do they take a bunch of carries away from Henry being like, okay, we know what you can do. We try to take some load off. Maybe you give it to another running back, but we're going to try to get the passing game going a little more. Do you think that there'll be a few more targets to pass around between those two wide receivers?
I think they need to. I don't think you can just run Derrick Henry into the ground.
No, I mean, I think that is very clear. Like, if you don't have him come, if he's not 100% come the playoffs, you're not you're not a caliber team that can win.
Yep, and obviously they still think the wide receiver is important, even though they traded A.J. Brown. They could win right out and got one, but you just don't want to pay him.
Yeah,
so that's the only thing. Jaguars just made a trade and are now on the clock. So the Jags just traded up to the Bucs spot here. Interesting. Wonder what they would be going for. Best remaining players on the board. I'm curious. Jacksonville. I mean, they could go all over the place.
My guess
except
is
quarterback.
Yeah, my guess is defense.
Daxton Hill is number one player on the board right now.
I mean,
Nakobe Dean. So Daxton Hill, Nakobe Dean, Devin Lloyd, all three of those good picks.
Yeah.
Devonte Wyatt from Georgia, another defense tackle, is a good one too.
Just because I think it'd be funny. How great would it be if they took a running back or a wide receiver?
Oh God!
After paying all the wide receivers to come and having ATN who didn't get to play yet and James Robinson, it would be hilarious to.
This is 27, so next up after this is Green Bay.
And that is the one I'm waiting for.
This is the I'm curious. I don't know what Jacksonville's going to do here. So those are all the receivers that Pitt went, though. We've had one quarterback. Kenny Pickett from Pitt goes to Pittsburgh. Gets to stay home, play for the Steelers. Doesn't necessarily have to start right away. He could beat out Trubisky. I really want to see Trubisky get a shot, though.
I do too. I think it's probably better for Pickett and him, but I do think
Pickett's ready.
Yeah, I was just saying he was the only one that was NFL ready.
So
how well he does as completed, but on Pittsburgh, I don't think he would do bad.
No, if he came in there, I like it. He has a good chance to be successful if he gets that opportunity. They have Deontay Johnson, Claypool. They're good there.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can run the ball with Najee.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna be fine.
Yep, I like that. Oh man,
you have the weapons, and they have a good defense. Getting those guys back healthy, you don't have to put up a ton of points, which, as a rookie would be a very huge blanket. I mean, you're not going to have to go out there and throw a million touchdowns. So, not the greatest for fantasy, but at the same time, I think that he would be second half of the year. You might be if he got to start. I think he actually might be a legit guy that you could throw in every once in a while, just streaming quarterback kind of style.
Yeah. Oh man, I really want to know what this next.
Oh, I want to listen to this too.
Oh man, so we got to get this Jacksonville pick out of the way. Man, I'm looking at the Lamar Jackson tweet. Oh God,
yeah. Is it? That's all it is. Just WTF. Yeah, he's gonna be super pissed.
I mean, that deal. So that was agreed upon earlier in the day, and they kept him. Lamar Jackson, did he seriously not know till now?
Yeah, he didn't know.
I mean. Hollywood Brown's already in Arizona.
Kingsbury actually said there was only 4 people that knew that this went down, and they kept it secret.
I think to not involve your star quarterback of that caliber.
This is how you piss people off. Speaking of, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, if they don't take a wide receiver right here, I can't imagine him being like, I mean, you gave me a lot of money, but F you guys.
Actually, speaking of the Ravens, I'm going to go back to that one, trading away Hollywood. They have Rashad Bateman.
I mean, he got a huge boost from this.
They have Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews.
Oh, yeah. Andrews is number one.
Their number 2 receiver is Devin Duvernay. Then Tylan Wallace.
Actually,
James Prochet.
Honestly, Duvernay
a lot
and
of names that
Prochet.
we've liked, right?
Yeah. I don't mind them. I mean, the thing is, Hollywood Brown was surprisingly
Jacksonville
good
just
for them.
Drafted Devin Lloyd. It's a good
Okay,
pick.
yeah, good pick.
Okay.
Good for them.
Now Packers. Here we go.
Here
This
we
is
go.
the pick.
Oh!
This is the pick. But yeah, but the Ravens. If I'm Lamar Jackson, what
I'm
are you
pissed.
doing here?
You're getting rid of my number one wide receiving option. I had Andrews. I had Hollywood Brown. You finally gave me Bateman, and now you're like, nah.
And they didn't go draft one in this draft here either.
I mean, to be fair to them, they probably don't want to pay Hollywood Brown what he's going to be owed at some point. You're getting some draft capital back.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But you're a run-first team. Let's not get away from it. Dobbins, healthy again.
I like
Edwards,
this. I like
healthy
this for
again.
Dobbins in a way.
Oh, I do too.
They're not a passing team.
And Bateman, you have to think he gets a huge
Bateman does get a boost.
upgrade.
Bateman gets a boost. Let's see where he was currently. Let's see. He was 45th in the ranks. He has to jump into the 30s, I would say.
Yeah,
at this point, being the guy. I mean, it's it. Like, it really is it.
I really want to know how much heat is going to be on Hollywood.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll get forgotten. I don't know. I'm not sure because happening on draft day.
Yeah. Oh man.
And all the controversy with Kyler and
Green Bay. This is the pick, Jeff. Can it be Christian Watson? Sky
please.
Moore? That would
Christian
be boring,
Watson,
right? Wouldn't Sky Moore not be exciting to you? I mean,
well, not anymore. I mean, anyone is, but Christian Watson was the guy where I'm like, this would be a perfect Green Bay guy.
Those are the top receivers on the board right now. It's Christian Watson, it's Sky Moore, it's John Mechie, it's George Pickens, it's Alec Pierce. Those are the five guys left. After that, because then it becomes Jalen Tolbert, Calvin Austin, guys that I'm not going to tell you much about.
When is Green Bay's next pick? Do they have an early second rounder?
Let's see here. Green Bay. Let's see. Packers.
I could see them actually being like, there's like five guys we like at wide receiver. We're going to hold off.
They have a pick at 21st in the second round, so it's a bit yet.
Yeah,
they have 21st and 27th in the second.
I feel like this is where they should. Obviously, I think they should take Christian Watson here, but that's just.
We'll see. You know, a guy who I'm looking at this receivers. Remember Justin Ross from Clemson? He was supposed to be great after his freshman year. I remember the national championship game. He was awesome. He's only the 15th best receiver currently available, still available. That guy fell off. I thought after his freshman, I mean, he was a good freshman there. Nothing happened with him. I'm just looking through some names, see if there's anybody interesting. Jalen Naylor, that guy might not even be drafted. He shouldn't have left state.
Yeah, probably not. But
he's currently the 23rd best receiver on the board yet.
Oof.
At this point.
Yeah, I mean, wide receiver's deep. Honestly, I do think that he's probably one of those guys that have to work his way onto a squad.
We're not going to see a running back in this first round, are we? Maybe
no.
There's only a few picks left. Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. Those are the only two that could possibly go, you would think. James Cook's probably not going. Spiller's not going.
No. It'll be one of those two, and only one will go. Who's left after Green Bay? Casey traded up, right? They're not in it anymore.
We have
Buffalo.
Right, so Jacksonville's picking Devin Lloyd. Then Green Bay's up. Patriots. Are they going to trade down again?
That would 29. Be how hilarious would that be though? Right. If they took the running back, because that is 100% what they would do.
Then Patriots, Chiefs. No, they're not going to do that again.
I mean, I don't think so.
Bengals. I don't see the need there. It's
who's their backup right now? I mean, obviously it's Mixon, and then behind him is that
was it P. Ryan?
Ryan?
Yeah, it was P. Ryan, right? Yeah.
I mean,
they could, but I don't think that's a first round. That's not a first round move for them.
I mean, they made it through the Super Bowl, so unless you have it's not a bad way to go to get some depth. Like you're at that place now, but I do feel like you could probably use more firepower on defense and
then
be able
Vikings.
to stop guys. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen either. Yeah, anyone that could have. So no running backs in the first round, I can imagine, unless someone trades up for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I can't imagine trading up for a running back.
All right, Packers, let's go. You know what the Packers might be thinking right here is there's a player they really want, but they're like, oh, crap. What do we do? Like Daxton Hill sitting there?
I mean, you could take who you want and then try to trade back up in the second.
I mean, Daxton Hill's a good pick. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Daxton Hill right here.
No. I mean, I would not blame them if they went defense. But it does feel like you're in desperate need of a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I did hear, maybe I'm just behind the times on this one, but I did hear that I believe it was them that was trying to get Waller from Vegas.
In.
Who is it?
Devonte Wyatt, Georgia defensive tackle.
Okay. I mean, I can't be mad at him for that, but I really wanted it to be Watson.
I mean, what's Aaron Rodgers thinking?
I don't know. I really want to.
Oh, man.
Actually, he's live on Pat McAfee right now, isn't he?
Is he actually on?
Yeah.
During that pick?
He's on right now. They say Pick is in, but they haven't done it yet. Oh, I really want to listen to his response.
You might have to tune in for a second here. All right, Jeff, you watching? Oh, great. All right. Yeah, Jeff's watching Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers, see what's going on there. See his reaction to the Devonte Wyatt pick. Which Devonte Wyatt's a good player. Actually, he's a good another good defensive player from Georgia. Georgia's just the amount of players that have gone from Georgia is actually crazy. Shoot, what have we even had from them? I'll pull this up here. So Georgia had Trayvon Walker, obviously at number 1. They had Jordan Davis, another defensive lineman, at 13. They had Quay Walker, a linebacker, at 22, and now they have Devonte Wyatt at 28.
And Dean hasn't gone yet, right?
No, Dean is not gone. Dean could go in these next 4 picks here with the Patriots, Chiefs, Bengals, Vikings. He definitely could. Have they announced the pick yet?
No.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I will wait until I see that the pick is in. But Aaron Rodgers looks like he's enjoying the crap out of himself at the moment. So I'm not sure if
it's going to matter.
He's going to care.
You know, so Malik Willis, I guess that's the guy who's fallen here, who could have been an earlier pick. He's still on the board. He might not go in the first round here. So I guess that doesn't surprise you too much, right?
No.
That makes more sense. Like, he was hyped by, I think, media, people, Twitter. NFL didn't buy it.
If other teams were jumping up for other QBs, then I think everyone kind of gets into this feeding frenzy. Hold
on. You got to see what's going on. Also, Rodgers is going to be on board, right? They got some receivers later on. Maybe Christian Watson goes to them at the end of the second. Maybe Christian Watson keeps falling. This is riveting radio, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean,
he's not going to
shout out to Pat
right?
McAfee or whatever for having Aaron Rodgers on. That one's always really funny.
Yep.
And it sounds like what he was just saying there was basically he has an inside track, and I think the organization has been talking to him, so he's not upset by any of this. So
they're not leaving him in the dark anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I think they've learned their lesson. So he seems very happy with beefing up the defense.
They didn't draft like Malik Willis there,
right?
Like, you know?
I literally would have been like, that would have been the greatest. That's what Pat McAfee should have done. He should have had a fake one when they're like Malik Willis and just watched Aaron Rodgers just being like, I will burn this place down.
That would have been great. No Malik Willis. He's probably not even going the first. I don't know where he's going to go at this point, to be honest. There's not many QB needy teams out there.
Well, this is the interesting part, and for other teams that may need a QB but aren't jumping up to get one.
I'm going to pull up the second here, and I mean the Titans. Like I said,
you wonder if you can wait until like the third round.
So
not for Willis.
The Titans are early in the second. I don't know. There's been talk they could go quarterback. I don't really see it. The Texans are the 5th pick in the second round.
They could.
Yeah. After that, the Seahawks have the 8th and 9th pick of the second round.
Okay, actually, that seems like a very good spot. You don't use your first rounder.
No, and they got 2 picks right there. That could be worth a shot right there.
Yep.
Falcons then have the 11th pick of the second round.
You should really.
They could go. So
the Falcons probably should.
There's a lot, and then the Lions have the 14th pick of the second round. So he's gonna go, I think, before those picks.
Well, I think him and Coral probably, right? So
Lions could get Coral. I'm gonna be okay. I would be okay with that.
I'm okay with a second round. I mean, I don't think.
Unless there's like there's some good players on the, like I said, Daxton Hill's there. These guys could go yet. But Daxton Hill and Nakobe Dean, Andrew Booth, the cornerback from Clemson, is pretty solid. There's Ajabo's out there.
I mean, there's so many good players left. I mean, we don't get into it, but you see high quality guys go in the first 4 rounds all the time. So, you're still using some of your draft capital in order to get this QB. You have to be sure that there's someone you like. You can't just like, well, we'll see. Like, you have to be like, I think he can legitimately be a starter in the foreseeable future. Otherwise, don't take him, right? But that's why I do feel like the Falcons feel like a place where that would make sense, even though they have a lot of holes. But, I mean, they don't even have I don't feel like Mariota is a.
Why is Willis going to be better than Mariota?
I mean, we don't know that either, but it doesn't feel like we know that he's not the future at all.
No, he's
like
not.
Even with the Lions, with Goff, you're like, he is a capable quarterback.
Goff gets a lot of just crap from people.
He went to the Super Bowl.
He was good. Like, he's not great. I'm not saying this at all.
He's fine.
He's a quarterback that if you build a team around him, he can be okay enough to get you around there. But that's either way. That's not the point. The Lions build the team and then get the quarterback.
Yes, and that's why I would rather have them take a defensive player if they really thought that a quarterback, and this would be for any of those teams. If you're a poor team, you need to build up your entire squad, and you're thinking, all right, you get a cheap QB and you can bring him along with everyone. We've seen it work, obviously, but if no one is that high on these guys to begin with, then you wonder at what point is it kind of like I'm doing it for depth, and if he doesn't become a starter, no big deal.
Yep.
Like, I feel like in the first 3 rounds, that's still pretty, like, that feels like a wasted pick if you really don't believe that he can be a starter in the NFL.
Patriots did make a pick. They didn't trade this time. They drafted offensive guard from University Tennessee Chattanooga.
Of course they did.
Cole Strange.
Yeah, he'll be good.
I mean, it's a Patriots pick.
Oh, Patriots way, man.
That's a Patriots pick all day.
Trade back. Get a no-name
guy from a small school.
Yeah, a no-name offensive lineman that will be a starter for 7 years.
All right, so here's where we get an interesting one again. Chiefs are on the clock. Will they go receiver?
I honestly could see them going for the safety.
Let's see here.
I feel like get more depth. But I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like, once again, Christian Watson. I know that I'm going to become his fanboy, but maybe if he goes here.
Maybe the Bengals just add another receiver to their max. No,
that'd be wild, wouldn't it?
No, they won't do it, but that would have been, maybe the Vikings need another one.
I mean.
Now, it seems like Christian Watson's going to go in the second round.
Yeah. Just thinking how funny that would be.
Maybe the Lions can get Christian Watson, 14th pick of the second round.
I mean, it would not be as good for his fantasy prospects, but I would love it as a fan.
Right? I don't know where he's getting.
We definitely need more defense. I don't want to go too crazy on that.
I kind of want him to take Malik Willis now.
No, I don't.
I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I don't think it would matter. I just think it would be a bad spot for him. Man, I don't know. Atlanta would make more sense.
So Chiefs this is really the last one where I'm really like, what are they going to do here? Bengals are probably going to pick defense, I think. Vikings, I don't know. They're not going to go position player. So unless they go James Cook, go get Dalvin's brother to back him up. Not going to happen. I don't know. I don't know what the Chiefs are going to do here. I'd like to see a receiver here because it makes it more interesting. Let me see what Twitter's saying.
I feel like Christian Watson would actually fit that offense very well just because he has speed and height.
I think you need to get Mahomes another weapon. I mean, he has Juju, he has Marcus Valdes-Scantling. Let me pull this depth chart. I haven't really
Hardman, he has Kelsey.
It's true. He has some guys. Okay, never mind. There's still guys. But Marcus Valdes-Scantling couldn't get it done with Rodgers.
I'm not an MVS guy.
Yeah.
But you did go out and get him. That's the weird part. Like, yeah, I get the Juju one or Juju is better.
I find crazy is all these players can get these deals. Like Marcus Valdes-Scantling. What was his let's see.
He got broken off. He got paid, but I don't know how much of that is guaranteed.
3 years, $30 million, a little bit. Why can't
$10 million a year though? You're like,
why can't Juju get like a long-term contract ever? Like he's just
that's what happens when you fall off a cliff though.
Yeah. Let's see. Is it going to be Watson, Pickens, right here, Chiefs? One of those guys. I feel like they're going to go for one of them.
I do feel like it would be Watson if I was going to choose someone, but Pickens, I mean. Whoever had a better workout, all these guys are actually pretty good wide receivers. Like someone is getting a deal in the second round, like tomorrow for sure. Yeah. But I would take Watson just because they're so speed centric, right? And Juju is not a speedster. MVS is kind of he's not slow by any means, but he's I don't know. I haven't seen him do a whole lot. So I feel like this would be a perfect spot for.
I mean, this could be a good pick, for Dax Hill. This is not a bad spot for him to go.
Yeah, yeah.
It really is.
I kind of feel more like that would be the way they go.
He's a good player. That'd be a good spot. There's some good defensive linemen out there yet. I'm not going to try to pronounce all their names.
Right.
I'm looking at some of these names, and I'm just not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'm just going to, all right, we'll wait for this pick. I think this will be the last one for us because there's not going to be anything for the Bengals or Vikings. No. Maybe, unless something crazy happens, maybe we'll jump back in.
Yeah.
But I don't expect it.
Do you, for the non, so like offensive tackles, all the moves that have been made so far, is there anyone that we haven't talked about more like QBs that should be looked at more favorably, running backs because they, will have better blocking? Anyone like that isn't directly the person joining a team.
Let's see. So there's 3 offensive linemen went in this thing early. Panthers got one. Giants got one. I don't know. Maybe that helps. Saquon. And then the Seahawks picked an offensive tackle, which I like that because I want to see Rashad Penny do something. But
I was going to say Drew Lock will be protected.
I guess. No, there's nothing too crazy because the other teams are like. I guess the Chargers went and got themselves another offensive lineman, which that's good. Their offense is just going to be that much more solid.
Yeah.
And then the Saints did too. Nothing too crazy that I'm like, oh, the Cowboys. Cowboys getting an offensive tackle again. They're really going to keep trying to run that ball. Pollard and Zeke, probably both of them. So Chiefs pick is in. Purdue defensive end.
George, very solid.
Carl, I can't say the guy's name. Carl.
Yeah. No, he's a really good player.
Good defensive end. It's a good pick. So it doesn't look like we're going to get ourselves a receiver here. So, all right. Might as well pack it up then. No receivers here to end this. Unless they do, we'll jump back in real quick just to say it.
Yeah.
But that'll be it. NFL draft. It's wide receiver heavy, but it stopped at what? When was the last one? 18? And then it just stopped. I'm surprised at that.
Yeah. First round, most excited person. Yeah, it can be a trade or it can be a pick. Which one is the one that excites you the most?
Yeah, Jameson Williams. It does. I love it.
Actually, mine is Hollywood, but yeah, Jameson Williams. There's a lot. I'm very, very intrigued by a lot of these guys. Yeah, Drake London is probably the one that has like a huge ceiling, but I just don't know what he is quite yet.
Don't know what he can do with Mariota. But all right, that'll do it. We'll be back next week. We'll then come back. We'll review the rest of the draft: 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round. Maybe 5th, 6th, 7th, because they're going to be interesting. But we'll get the big rundown next week for you guys. Talk to you then.